Welcome back. And the cost of a 2-year mortgage deal has risen again this morning.
For many people, that means repayments are hundreds of pounds a month higher than they were 2 years ago. Nina is here to tell us the very latest, because there is some very latest news, isn't there, Nina?
Yeah, there is in the last hour or so. Every morning when we come in and we have a look at the newspapers, don't we? 4 front pages this morning talking about interest rates going up later this week. That's the prediction. But also in the last hour, we've learned that a typical 2-year fixed mortgage deal has now an interest rate of more than 6%. At the start of last year, the average rate was less than 3%, linked, of course, to the Bank of England rate. Have a look at this graph. Now, this shows in the last decade how quickly this has happened. So if you go back to 2013 onwards, around 0.5%, up and down slightly. Come to the beginning of 2022, look at that rapid rise to where we are now. How does that translate to a chunk of your monthly income compared to early last year? Well, of course, that depends on how much you're borrowing and when you want to pay it off. But if your mortgage has around £250,000 and 25 years left on it, you'll be looking at paying £400 more every month. If you've £140,000 left with 10 years to go, you're looking at paying about 180 quid more. So lots of questions if you're in that predicament. Joining me to answer those is that mortgage expert Sally Mitchell. Good to see you this morning.
Nice to see you.
My goodness, it's changing rapidly, isn't it? We've had so many questions. Let's start with this one from Katie. She's remortgaging next month. I've always rolled over, she said, with my current lender. It's less hassle. Should I keep things simple or go with a broker? And if I do, is it not going to cost me more?
It can do. I mean, there's no sort of one size fits all. Really, if you're looking to come off, or you're coming to the end of your fix, you need to be looking at alternatives 6 months before. That gives you plenty of time to explore the market, go to a broker, find what's the best situation or solution for you. If you leave it to the end and go, oh, it's ending in a month, really your only option is to stay with your existing lender. And that can mean that you don't get the most competitive rate.
So even though the market's so volatile at the moment, still get in there early and have that chat months in advance?
Definitely. Okay. 6 months.
OK. We've had 2 questions on interest-only versus repayment, one from a single parent on a low income, on an interest-only mortgage. Her kids are due to leave in a couple of years. At that point, she'll up her income. Should she switch now to repayment? Will that be a lower rate? Someone else the other way around saying, would an interest-only mortgage be an option to help reduce costs now from the one that they're fixed on?
Yeah, interest-only does reduce your monthly payment, definitely, but it is more risky because at the end of the term, you still owe the initial capital outlay. So if you bought your property or your mortgage was $250,000, at the end of the term, you still owe that $250,000 and the lender will want it back.
But if you're in a position where you're really struggling financially, perhaps it's a good option to get you through this period before interest.
I would say not for very long. But short term, it could work.
OK, that's worth looking at. This is on fixing or waiting. Louise said, my mortgage is due to run out in January of next year. Should I fix now or wait until nearer the time? Teresa in Rugby says, our 5-year deal runs out in November next year. Safer to go now or wait and see whether rates come down? I'm surviving on benefits. Things are tight. I need to know where I stand.
Oh, gosh. Right, that's 2 quite separate things. So with the fix that's coming up in about 6 months' time, I would look at deals now because we don't know what's going to happen. So perhaps get a nice product transfer under your belt right now.
And just to be clear, if you sign up to that now, they have to honour that?
Yes, they do. They do. But the good news is, and what we're doing an awful lot of, is if things change within those 6 months, you can then change to a better deal with your existing lender. With the other viewer, it's quite, that's a tricky one, the November one. And I would talk to a broker and see what their individual circumstances dictate.
OK, so Teresa, that's the advice to you, because it sounds like she's really struggling. But talk to a broker and weigh up your options. Another question, given the volatility, would you recommend going variable temporarily and then seeing how things take shape?
If flexibility...
That's the one people ask me all the time. Yeah.
Again, it's very individual. If flexibility is the most important thing to you, then yes, going onto the variable for a short period of time, it'll cost you more, but you won't get hammered by early repayment charges when you try and get out of a fix. So if it's 2-3 months and you just want to wait and see for whatever reason, yes, it's an option, as long as you can afford it.
And
Yeah.
this one, because we hear a lot from first-time buyers or parents of first-time buyers. Somebody has got in this one saying, my son and so many young people are unable to even get on the ladder. Lenders want 4 times their salary. My son's been saving since he left school. He has a £30,000 deposit now, but it's still not enough. Are things going to change? Because this is heartbreaking.
Yeah, I know. So many people are in that situation. Things have changed so much. Back in the day, I remember getting a mortgage, we would get twice our income per year on a mortgage. Now it's 4.5, and that's still not enough. So keep going, keep saving, look at all the good first-time buyer schemes that a lot of the lenders offer. Some actually will give you 5 times your salary.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the market is opening up again. That's one bit of good news, isn't
definitely.
it? Thank you, Sally. One thing is certain, you are going to see a hike. It is going to hurt, so brace yourself from this. Adrian on Twitter said they've been really low for 10 to 15 years. The bubble was always set to burst. I can't say I'm surprised. John and Sally, that might be true, but it's little comfort if you're seeing your mortgage going up by hundreds of pounds and having to make that really difficult decision. As Sally said, there are no easy answers at the moment.
Nina, thanks